Assalamualaikum, my name is Muhammad Nurul Hakim and today I'm going to present and give some overview about the risk linked with the construction industry, which is a pure risk, and also the takaful product related to the risk. What is pure risk? Pure risk can be also known by the term of absolute risk. It's a type of risk that cannot be mitigated and beyond human control. It has two outcomes, which are total loss or no loss at all. When pure risk is involved, there is no chance for profit or benefit. Personal property and liabilities risk are the three main types of pure risk. Transferring pure risk to an takaful company by acquiring a takaful policy is the most popular solution to dealing with it. Next, we will move on to the risk identification of causes and effects that lead to the construction property damage. The first cause is defective construction machineries and tools such as crane and digger. This will lead to severe effect to the company that such as loss of profit, or they need to spend a huge amount of money for the purpose of repair for the damage. The heavy equipment must be preserved and kept in excellent operating order by following a regular cleaning schedule. Based on the latest news reported by New Street Times, a worker killed as a launching gantry collapses at MRT construction site. The second cause is the error and reliance on inaccurate data by the project manager. Data estimation is one of the most important aspects of the construction stage. Delivering incorrect data can have a direct impact on the project's financial performance. This then will lead to a bad design of construction building. The third cause is lack of proper management documentation of the construction projects. It has a significant influence on the success of the project and on business operation in general. The failure to do a proper documentation will lead to a poor execution of overall flow of the project and causing much problem such as wasted times and materials. The fourth cause is the use of inferior or substandard building materials that will lead to severe construction damage. Employing low quality materials will lead to a number of issues and effects, and one of them is lack of durability of the building's structure. This is the risk metric for the pure risk identified, which is the construction property damage. It currently standing at the scale of impact or severity of 4, which is major, and likelihood or frequency scale of 4, which is likely. Based on the risk indicator, the risk of having construction property damage is high, and by this, the risk need quarterly senior management review. The reason we put this risk in this scale because there are some of the cases that occurred resulted in construction collapse, and it can endanger the safety of the public and workers. There are two best takaful products for the risk. The first one is Ikhlas Contractor All Risk Takaful by Takaful Ikhlas. The products cover and benefit include comprehensive coverage for civil engineering contract works, installation and maintenance works, and also it covers accidental loss or damage to property belonging to the third parties. The premium or contribution is vary depending on the risk and exposure and also the underwriting requirement of the company, and subject to a minimum contribution of 250 ringgit. Moreover, the coverage period is also vary depending on the length of coverage contract made by the company and subject to a minimum period of 1 year. The second takaful product discovered is Contractors All Risk Certificate by Etika Takaful. The product offers coverage of the contract works at the completion of the construction, inclusive of all materials and items supplied by the principal. It also covers the same replacement value of the construction plant, equipment and construction machinery, and accidental loss or damage to property belonging to third parties. The premium or contribution vary depending on the risk and exposure and subject to a minimum contribution of 100 ringgit. Last but not least, the coverage period is vary depending on the length of the coverage contract. There are 5 non-financial suggestions for the risk. The first one is to evaluate and refine warning and protection system to assist safe construction works. The supervisor at the construction site must be precisely inform the workers on the need to check all safety measure systems and ensuring its functionality is at the optimal level and also follow all the requirements. The second suggestion is that construction company need to hire a reliable and quality project manager that full with experiences to ensure the project help run smoothly according to the schedule and minimizing any arising problems. The third is the construction firm must ensure sufficient and quality construction raw materials. Construction firm must provide the best and high quality raw materials such as cement and bricks to achieve the purpose of having a quality building. The fourth is that workers and construction companies must have proper documentation of everything that we done on site in order to impose construction quality and safety. And lastly, every workforce at the site need to ensure complete and good condition of the heavy construction machineries and equipments by performing regular cleaning to allow maintenance technician to keep better check on the condition of multiple materials. Moreover, this process contribute to the appearance of heavy equipment at the work site.
Next, what is the speculative risk? Speculative risk is a type of risk that has an unknown degree of gain or loss when it is taken. Almost all investment strategies involve such speculative risk since an investor has no way of knowing whether an investment will be a smash hit or catastrophic failure, as the exact amount of gain or loss is unpredictable. It is a known fact that speculative risks are uninsurable as it has the elements of gambling and investment. For this speculative risk, we identified that there is investment failure risk. So this is the causes and effect for the risk. Speculative risk has its own severe effect to companies in sectors such as construction, known as investment failure. One of the causes leading to a construction firm's investment failure is lack of knowledge in doing investment. This sometimes happens to even long-established firms. This problem will lead to heavy loss due to wrong investment selection that may affect the company's workers, management, and stockholders by direct or indirectly. The second causes of having investment failure is due to fraud investment selection. Big firms such as construction company tends to jump into fraud investment such as illegitimate sales or alleged acquisition of investment instruments. This kind of fraud scheme will eventually be causing big loss to the construction firm that acquiring those investment without careful assessment and evaluation. The current pandemic has caused an investment shutdown, which is the root cause of the investment failure. Malaysia's construction industry lost 18.5 billion ringgit during the first 3 phases of the country's lockdown to combat the spread of the coronavirus. The effect is companies fail to gain return of investment. Lastly, the cost of investment failure is the investment project cost too high. According to Reuters, Malaysia's economic minister has cancelled the 20 billion East Coast Rail Link (ECRL) project with contractor China Communication Construction Co. Limited. The decision was made because of the cost of being too big to develop ECRL and the lack of financial capacity. The effect is investment was aborted. Companies that are having problems are unable to continue the project due to the future cost and the high value of the project's interest.
We move on to the risk metric. For the risk of investment failure, we can analyze that it shows that severity is in the scale of 3 and the frequency is in the scale of 2. This means that the impact of the risk is moderate because sometimes it still can be controlled by the company, but sometimes the company also need to bear higher losses in their investment activities. The frequency of the risk is unlikely to happen because the investor who is willing to take the risk in order to make an investment decision and invest in the firm.
First product for the risk is known as Pooling Investor Account, a product produced by Prudential BSM. It possesses the benefit of one-off premium investment linked plan that gives you the flexibility to manage company investment and be protected at the same time. The coverage offered by this plan is a minimum coverage of 5,000 ringgit and maximum amount may be vary according to the contract. For the contribution, the minimum contribution is by one-off form of premium payment from only 4,000 ringgit.
The next Takaful product for this week was Takaful A-Class. Takaful A-Class company that offer Takaful A-Class investment link is a suitable product for speculative risk. The benefit of this product was one-off premium investment that gives us flexibility to manage company investment and to be protected at the same time. The minimum amount of coverage was RM50,000, while the maximum amount of coverage was varied according to the plan. The minimum contribution is one-off premium only from RM 5,000 ringgit.
Lastly, for non-financial recommendation for speculative risk is first, make an investment risk evaluation by identifying low-risk investments. Second, make investment activity locally to avoid high investment scam possibilities. Third, hire a project fund manager who expertise to handle company investment. Fourth, diversify its investment to reduce the risk. And lastly, make an investment only toward well-established company. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Effendi bin Jafar. So today, I would like to present about fundamental risk under construction industry. The definition of fundamental risk. Fundamental risk is an absolute hazard that leaves no doubt about whether or not a failure will occur, making the risk economically uninsurable. Fundamental risk also can be described as an exposure to damage as a result of situation that affects a significant number of people or businesses. Example, pandemic COVID-19, unemployment, natural disaster such as flood, landslide, and earthquake. Fundamental risk also can be called as unfortunate event. So now let's move to the causes and effect. The first causes for construction industry under fundamental risk is COVID-19 pandemic. According to a newspaper article on New Straits Times said that construction sites COVID-19 cases cause for concern. As for today, a total of 27,000 construction site workers have been screened for COVID-19 by their respective employers. The effect is all construction companies have to bear medical treatment for workers by doing swab tests and taking the vaccine. The second cause is even the construction operation is under progress by following standard operation procedure SOP, but still there is a positive case among the workers. One of the new clusters was detected through a workplace screening on workers at the construction site in Johor Bahru. The effect is every project had to be delayed or cancelled due to this pandemic outbreaks has been spread rapidly. The third cause is economic recession due to pandemic COVID-19. According to a newspaper article on New Straits Times also said that Malaysia facing worst economic recession in its history. Finance Minister said that recession has not only affected the nation gross domestic product GDP but also contribute towards a rise in unemployment. The effect is a loss of project due to MCO, which means that all construction will be delayed or postponed. The fourth cause is construction industry that caused by natural disasters such as flood, landslide, or anything else. It's not a secret that the construction industry is directly affected by weather events. The effect is the abortion or delay construction project due to disaster. This has led to significant economic losses and created a challenging environment that contractors must now navigate. Next, we move to risk matrix. It can be described that the risk is unlikely frequency in level 4 because chances of COVID-19 to be infected in person or community is very large. And it also described under severity, which is level 5, because the virus have been impacted human life in so many ways. Next, for suggestion product that offer special coverage for COVID-19 and natural disaster is Contractors All Risk by Zurich Takaful. This product cover loss such as fire, lighting, water damage, flood, storm, landslide, earthquake, and many else. The coverage period is very depending on the length of coverage contract made by company and subject to a minimum period of 1 year. The minimum contribution for contractors all this is around RM 250 ringgit. The second product is Z Covet Protect Takaful by Zurich Takaful. The coverage is this product provide COVID-19 compensation in the event of disablement or death causes solely and directly by a sudden by the workers. The basic coverage is around RM 2,000 ringgit. The maximum coverage is around RM 10,000 ringgit. The coverage period is very depending on length of coverage contract made by company and subject to a minimum period of 1 year. The minimum contribution takaful for this product is RM 80 ringgit. Lastly is non-financial suggestion for fundamental risk. First, construction workers should practice COVID-19 safety measures. And second, construction firm must apply careful measures in developing project near high-risk location. Third, company can reject offer to construct project at high-risk locations such as landslide area. And fourth, company must reschedule the ongoing project to minimize the spread of COVID-19. And lastly, Construction manager should ensure all workers obtaining COVID-19 vaccination to avoid infection.
Next, I will present on the particular risk. So, what is the particular risk? A particular risk is a risk that affects only persons and not the community. This may be identified as causes arising from personal behavior and effects not being of that size. These are mostly created because of their negligence, error in judgment, carelessness, and disregard for law or respect. Particular risks are insurable risks, and most of the insurance relate to this risk. For this particular risk, we identified that there is a worker safety threatened risk. The first cause is the negligence of the workers while doing the construction operation. From example that I found in Bernama News, this is due to the contractors who are failing to ensure that a pit at the construction site was sealed or fenced up to prevent anyone from falling into it. This subcontractor also was failing to provide a safe work procedure where it shows the negligence and can endanger person's life. The effect for the first cause is it can cause accidents that may threaten another worker's safety. The second cause are the inadequate safety and protection training to the construction workers. Some businesses view in-depth training to be an unnecessary cost and instead expect new employees to learn on the job from supervisor and more experienced workers. The effects for these causes is creating an unsafe work environment. The problem could be fatal in work environments which is at the construction sites that contain heavy-duty machinery and hazardous materials. Next, another cause is the lack of work trade skills related to the task. Unskilled laborers are one of the most unproductive labor types in the construction industry that influence the project performance. From that, the effect will take place when the construction manager had to replace the injured workers with new workers. The last causes are failing to follow safety measurement. Such a thing can be seen when a number of employees ignore their prescribed safety clothing such as personal protective equipment, which is PPE. Some reasons on why employees may refuse to wear their PPE is because they feel discomfort while wearing it, believing that PPE is not necessary for the task, and too confident with his work that has been done for years. Refusal to follow safety measurement will effects on endangering the safety workers. Next, this is the risk metric for workers' safety threatened risk under the particular risk. As we can see here, the risk placed in the orange box on the first row of the risk matrix. This indicates that this risk is almost certain to be happen because the level of frequency is in the scale of 5. We can hear that there are many cases concerning the workers who frequently suffer serious injuries and death as a result of bad construction operations. The severity for this risk is moderate because most of the workers were provided with certain insurance and takaful that can decrease their burden. Moving on, there are two examples of takaful products that can manage this particular risk. First is Pru BSN SME at Work product from Prudential BSN Takaful Berhad. This takaful product provides comprehensive protection and healthcare benefits for the employees as well as their family members in times of need. The contribution for this takaful product is subject to minimum contribution of 80 ringgit. This product has a coverage period that vary depending on the length of coverage contract made by the company. The second takaful product is Employers Liability Takaful from Takaful Malaysia. This takaful product indemnifies the participant against liability at law to pay compensation and claimant costs and expenses in respect of injury suffered by the employees that is caused by accidents or disease arising out of and in the course of his employment. The contribution for this takaful product is subject to minimum contribution of 75 ringgit. This product has a coverage period that is subject to a minimum period of 1 year. Lastly is the non-financial suggestion for the particular risk. The company must increase awareness on the need of safety precaution. A worker must be properly informed on the potential dangers before entering a building site, regardless his or her role or experience level. Other than that, construction company must provide regular training for the workers. Regular training stations should be held for the workers throughout the year to improve their knowledge of safety. Construction worker might seriously injure or kill if they are not properly trained. Furthermore, all of the contractors should improve communication among attendants. Construction companies must provide workers with communication devices such as smartphones, walkie-talkies, and headsets that enables for quick and effective communication among team members. Construction managers also must improve supervision in the construction site. Every work site needs a strong supervision who is committed and proficient of strictly following safety regulations. Lastly, workers must organize construction sites and update inventory properly. When a construction site is littered with debris and extra materials, accidents and equipment damage are more likely to occur.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Luqmanul Hakim bin Johari. Today I will like to present about financial risk. First of all, financial value risk is a risk whose result can be quantified in monetary terms. Secondly, all the losses can be measured in monetary terms even though in the outcome of unforeseen events. Third, the damage may be fixed, replaced, or reinstated, or even corresponding reasonable financial support can be provided in the event of death. The causes and effect of financial risk. First is the causes is the lack of construction project. The effect of these causes is it affect the low earning and revenue of company. Secondly, the causes was construction sector share price fall. The fall of this sector will affect the investment return from investors due to low return of investment. Third, the causes was burglary and theft at construction site. The effect of these causes was loss of construction material and lead to loss of profit to the company. Third one, causes was failure getting payment from client. The effect of these causes was unable to earn revenue due to failure getting full payment. Next, we go to the risk matrix for this sector. The risk metric frequency for this sector was at scale of 3 because it's rarely to happen and also happen once in a while. But the impact level or severity level for this risk was at scale of 5 because when it occurs, it will give major or severe impacts towards the company. Next, we go to the financial risk for Takaful product. We would like to recommend some Takaful product for this risk. First of all, we would like to recommend Zurich Takaful for this risk. The first product is Zurich General Takaful Contractor or Risk. The coverage and benefit for this Takaful is it covers the losses of the causes of theft and burglary value during construction period and coverage for the burglary or raw material at construction site. The contribution for this Takaful product is minimum RM 250 ringgit per month. Next, we like to recommend second product for this. The second is Etika Takaful Company. The product for this risk is contractor or risk certificate. The benefit for this product is it covers malicious damage, malicious damage, which is the purpose for this extension, shall mean loss or damage to the property covered directly caused by the malicious act due to burglary and theft at construction site. The minimum contribution for this takaful is Rm100 ringgit. The reason of why we recommend takaful product for this company is it will help company to reduce its losses, and also they could transfer the risk or loss from their company to takaful company. Last but not least, we'd like to see the non-financial recommendation for financial risk. The non-financial recommendation or for financial risk is build strong communication among top management. Secondly, they should take legal action to a client who failed to pay full payment. Third is they should prepare emergency fund. Fourth is to emphasizing their financial division such as accounting and cash flow. And last is they should hiring security forces at construction site. So this all from me. Thank you.
Definition of non-financial value risk. Non-financial value risks are those whose outcome cannot be quantified in the monetary term. Any loss that may occur as a result of the risk cannot be assessed in the monetary term by the person concerned. Next, bad company reputation risk is one of the non-financial value risks. There is 4 causes. The first cause is failure to complete construction work accordingly. Delays that occur in the most construction project mean failure to complete the project within the target time and budget cost as agreed in the contract. Not completing the construction project on time is an offense. The effect is it will result in the company facing legal action and bad company reputation. The second cause is theft of company personal data. It can lead to the bad company reputation. According to the Star, 26% of a Malaysian company reported that the most severe cybersecurity breach last year has a financial impact of more than 4.11 billion. The effect is when the company personal data is stolen, it results in the loss of critical company data. The third cause is a reputation of the company can be tainted by the management corruption. According to the freemalaysiantoday.com, a former general manager of construction company Chua was charged with corruption, received gratification from the 2 individuals as inducement for him not give a bad report on the work performance of 2 companies that could be result in their company contract being terminated. The effect is it will cause the loss of investor trust to the company. The last causes is a bad company reputation can be caused by the company failing to meet its employee right and interest. According to the Today News article, the owner of the construction business, Serwan Construction, was found guilty of 2 counts of reducing a foreign worker income. The effect is a corporation being penalized by the Labour Department for their offence. Next, we go to the risk metric. Based on the table, for the bad company reputation, it is in the green box on the 5th row from the top. This indicates that the bad company reputation is rarely happen and give a moderate consequences to the company. The frequency of this risk is in the scale of 1, while the severity is in the scale of 3. We put it in this scale because when the worker or outsider undermine their firm reputation, the corporation can manage it by imposing fines and take a legal action against them. It is critical for them to defending and preserve the company excellent reputation. Next, we go to the takaful product for non-financial value risk. The first takaful product is Fidelity Guarantee Takaful by Zurich Takaful. For the benefit, it provides the coverage against direct precautionary loss caused by the act of fraud or dishonesty of covered employee in the certificate. The act of the fraud or dishonesty must be discovered during the period of the takaful and within 6 months thereafter or within 6 months after the death, dismissal or retirement of the relevant employee, whichever event shall first happen. For the contribution, the total contribution that have to be made may vary depending on the underwriting requirement of the takaful operator. Coverage period duration of cover is for 1 year. Company need to renew Takaful cover annually. The second Takaful product is Fidelity Guarantee Takaful by Takaful Malaysia. For this Takaful, it's cover loss of monies or goods as the result of any act of fraud or dishonesty. Loss due to the all act of fraud, dishonesty, forgery, or embezzlement committed by the employee. For the contribution, the total contribution varies depending on the risk exposure, the underwriting requirement, and sum covered. The minimum contribution is Rm100 ringgit, and the coverage period duration of the cover is for 1 year. Company need to renew Takaful annually. 5 suggestions of non-financial value risk. Firstly, construction company need to hire responsible and honest top management for their companies. Companies must conduct an evaluation before hiring for a suitable vacancy for a position to fill. This will aid in instilling the value of responsibility while also keep the company as a shared responsibility. Secondly, firms must be accountable to their workers. Employees must safeguard the interests and rights of their workers. This will boost staff productivity and efficiency. Being a socially responsible business may help to improve company image and brand. Thirdly, companies should fire and prosecute dishonest employees. Employees who commit a serious offense such as bribery must be treated with a zero tolerance by the management. This will have a direct impact and consequences for ensuring employees are cautious about the consequences of the major offense. Fourthly, businesses must ensure the security of their personal data by tightening the security system. Cybersecurity such as antivirus software can aid in the prevention of the cyber attack that threaten companies' sensitive information. Lastly, business must be accountable to their client by completing the construction project. Company must meet their responsibility efficiently and on time when it comes to the company liability management. This will ensure customer belief in their project and in turn maintain their good reputation among the public.